It started with, an idea that's been percolating in my head for a month now. And then I saw this article in the Wall Street Journal, which I was allowed to read the first couple paragraphs of, but not the entire thing. And that sort of sealed the deal. And that is this. My thesis is as follows. Our delivery culture is not sustainable. It is not good for us in any way. Our instant gratification, car share culture could be good, but the way we've implemented it is very, very bad. We have a lot of things right now clogging up our system, wasting fuel, polluting our atmosphere, and costing someone money. Now, maybe it's not costing you money. Maybe it's the venture capitalist funding the rideshare company. Maybe it's deep pockets. It's some huge online retailer that can afford to send 3 delivery drivers a day to your house to deliver an envelope of probiotic pills or something. I don't know. I'm not criticizing
in a box that's this big.
In a box that's that big. I'm not criticizing anyone for taking advantage of convenience. We all do it. That's maybe one of the most reasonable human things is to say, wow, this is easy. I'd like to try that.
I'm part of the problem. This morning we ran out of breakfast. I ordered more. It was there this afternoon. From Amazon.
Yeah.
Same day delivery.
Yeah.
And I can't. So on one hand, I get it. I totally get it. You're a busy person. You work a job. You've got enough on your plate. The last thing most Americans need is more stuff to manage, whether it's your health care or your finances or your business or whatever it is. You've got a lot on your plate. Most of us do.
Mm-hmm.
So these time-saving things are great, but I mean, this stuff is insane. It's just absolutely insane. So now the smarter people on the panel are going to tell me why I'm totally wrong.
Well, with the ability for them to plan the routes and use ecological delivery vehicles, which they're mostly not doing.
No one does.
Not
you just
nobody.
invalidated wherever you were going with that.
Because some of them do. Like UPS has got several electric and plug-in and natural gas trucks.
They have several. CNG.
A lot more of the other ones, and then was it UPS and FedEx? They both have drone deliveries. You can power those from the sun, and that's also right here in Virginia. So except for the noise pollution. But if they use the airplane drones, they're not as loud.
Yeah, so
we can handle the fall.
talked about this last time. If the thing that's going to drive people using renewable energy and electric vehicles is when the economics make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the delivery vehicles put in a lot of miles. So they're going to be one of the first to transition when we have technology that meets their needs. And that's going to be a great day. In fact, we have a story coming up later about some vehicles that are moving to better fuel economy systems.
Yeah, we were having a discussion at work the other day about the recycling, how much of it ends up in the landfill because it's not ecological or economical to actually process it.
Right, since the green sword came down in China, that has really killed plastic recycling in the U.S. and many other parts of the world.
Exactly, but if it was cost effective, people would do it. Or like in New York, where there's a deposit and you want your quarter back. You got an old nickel usually, but you got to recycle it if you want it back.
Okay, I think we're varying here because Russell's point was instant gratification and delivery and that kind of stuff. And no, I kind of agree with Russell on this. If I have the ability to go and get online and order 1 bottle of dishwashing detergent because I ran out,
mm-hmm.
and it has to get picked, packed, shipped, driven, and dropped off for one little thing, just because I think it's convenient for me to order 1 little bottle, and then the next day I order another bottle of, of whatever, hair shampoo or a box of cereal or something. That is 100 times less effective or less efficient than me getting up off my ass and driving myself to Target and buying 2 dozen products at a go and then driving home.
Right, but if you bought those same 24 products and had them delivered, what's the difference between you driving to the store and back and that delivery person driving and maybe dropping off dozens of other things, especially if they were going to your neighbor's house with a delivery anyway?
Yep. And
Okay.
in
See,
your case,
yes.
you've got an ecological vehicle, but your neighbor drives a freaking old Hummer that they can't get rid of.
Okay. So we've just added some
But if the
parameters.
delivery truck hits 30 homes on one trip,
Yes.
that's more efficient than 30
Especially if
people
it's a
going
green
out.
one. Yeah.
Okay. So there's the parameter, right? So we do reach a tipping point where it does become more efficient and spewing less greenhouse gases and emissions and whatever, but only if people agree to purchase multiple items at the same time.
Right.
But how many times have we just ordered, like I needed a jack that converts a 3.5-inch audio plug into an RGB or whatever. I don't know, I'm making this up. And I just need this one thing. And it travels all the way from China because I need this one thing. And it was just convenient for me to go online and order it.
Right, but it's not like that thing came on a boat from China by itself.
Right.
It
Yeah,
came with a lot of other stuff that was coming.
No, they sent it by air freight.
Yeah, sometimes. But like in my case, like in my apartment, we actually have one of the Amazon lockers, and UPS, FedEx, and Amazon are there at least 10 minutes every day, filling them up with stuff that all the neighbors have ordered, and then the mailman is doing the mailman stuff, the regular mail, and then I think he even does the parcels into the freaking locker, and that's what 4 or 5 trips that 100 of us would have taken on our own. So I mean, if it's done right.
I think Casey makes a good point in that there are some efficiencies here that we can capitalize on. Lockers are a great example of that.
Yeah.
Rather than 30 people in his apartment complex going out to the store and driving home, they did their thing on the keyboard and boom, it shows up at the locker.
Yeah.
So hopefully nobody but the delivery drivers driving anything. And this is arguably, again, stuff that, as Patrick pointed out, none of it comes over on a boat by itself. There's one 3.5 millimeter audio converter. It comes over in container loads, but then it gets spread out via diesel trucks all over the U.S. to different sort centers, to different repack centers, to different distribution centers. And then it goes on delivery trucks.
Yeah, so there's a good point. Buy local, eat local, whenever you can. That's a great point.
There's
right, and we're looking at only the emissions of the vehicles itself. Like I had said when Russell introduced it, you get one little vial of medication and it comes in a box, and that box has padding and this and this and this. And we're packaging the packages.
Yeah.
I cut you off, Russell. What were you going to say?
No, I think I said what I wanted to say. I have this feeling that this is a horrible thing, and that at some point, 30 years or 40 years from now, people are going to look back and go, what the fuck were they thinking? They're insane. They were just killing themselves, and they didn't realize it because it was so convenient.
Yeah.
It's like everybody having their own gasoline-powered personal vehicle to do whatever they want with their freedom machine. It's just wonderful and it's great. But is there any question that gasoline powered freedom machines are a big, huge cause of problems on this planet?
Yeah. Another thing that the article points out is the traffic disruption. So in our area, there's a nice pull off for them to deal with it. But as it's going down Main Street or going down your neighborhood, it might not be set up for deliveries. And so now you've got all these people in the gas cars. You got a traffic jam.
Right, and then makes everybody idle more. It's horrible. Yeah,
exactly. And like Tony said, if you can buy local, and like Russell always says, if there are just less cars and you can walk to the local farmers market, none of that would be an issue.
In a perfect world, and I understand that everybody can't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like there are some people that have a hard time driving to the grocery store because it's 5 or 6 miles away, or maybe more.
Yeah, worse if you're in a food desert. I mean, you could go like 30, 40 minutes at highway speeds before you reach the grocery store.
Yeah. I've preached. It's Russell started this whole thing with convenience. I've preached many, many times, and I think Casey had mentioned the economy, and Patrick had mentioned when the financial teeter-totter is hit and it swings the other way. I've preached to many of my coworkers, and so many times, I think maybe even said on this show, the problem is that our assured destruction is based on the convenience and the financial benefit of killing ourselves.
And staring us in the face. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
We've got what they say 2 to 8 years at the most to correct this. It's
We will
for people like
convenience
me who
ourselves to
are actually
death.
going to have to live through it. It's pretty scary. I mean, but I mean, some of the folks that I interact with on a
Unlike
daily
the
basis
rest
don't
of us
care.
old guys.
No, I'm talking much older. Some.
Hey, I'm going to be dead soon anyway, so who gives a shit? Okay, you guys
Yeah.
can choke to death on your own.
Like, you always tell me about your children. What, you don't care about them? Apparently not.
I do want to put one thing in here, and I'm going to blame it on Patrick, although he may not have been the only one. No,
I'll take the blame.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. Patrick said something about, this would balance better when the cost is more favorable to being greener. And you know what? As somebody who's spent the last decade and a half arguing that, if the hybrid costs more, you do it because it's the right thing, asshole. You don't do it because you're going to make $1. You don't make $1 on an F-250 turbo diesel. You do it because it's the right thing to do. And so I don't think Patrick's wrong. I think Patrick's absolutely right. When things are cheaper, people will naturally gravitate towards that. But we also need to add in the moral side of this, that you've sacrificed something for your convenience. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You only get about 2% of people that will ever wake up to that fact. I mean, how many people, work for Habitat for Humanity or donate blood or whatever the noble cause is? It's never the majority of people. It's the enlightened few.
But part of it is because as a society, we don't encourage that. We do a little bit, you feel guilty, you need to donate to Jerry's kids, or you got to do something. But on a daily basis, we don't encourage people to make good, long-term, sustainable decisions. We encourage them to buy the cheap T-shirt at Walmart because it's $1 cheaper than the other place used to be.
Yeah, and you can't blame people for that. If you have to buy stuff to get through life, and a lot of people don't make very much money. And so they're going to do what's cheap so they can afford to get something nice for their kids or pay their electricity bill or whatever it is that they need. So, I don't want to blame anybody for that.
No, that's why. Except for the people who spend $2.50 a day on a Starbucks coffee in a paper cup. Those people can afford to buy a thermos. So buy a freaking thermos.
Put the logo on it.
Get your coffee Starbucks and wash it out.
Yeah. There you go. If you're looking for Christmas present ideas for Tony, get him a reusable mug.
I need more thermoses.
Send Tony your thermos
people around you that you can regift to that apparently need them.
See, I will be the Bart Coughlin of thermos emporiums. Yes.
That's going to be the background in your home studio. Thermoses sent in by what drives us.
Big shelf. Yeah.
That'll be
Tony's
awesome.
company called Reuse It. Damn it!
All these coffee mugs, you better keep them washed. Is all I gotta say.